Hey, everybody, welcome to the Otherz podcast. I'm your host, Steve Penny. Joining me this week, back from his travels around Europe with his family. How you doing, Rafa?
I'm good. I survived, man. I'm a Victoria.
You've done
I'm
you've
good.
done well.
Yeah. I done well. I barely survived, but I'm here.
Yourself, your lovely girlfriend, and both of your families.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot to handle.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. There's a lot of feelings, especially because we were. I think the last time we saw each other, like the entire family, was like 2 years ago. So that was that, and then had to deal with family while you're traveling. Have to deal with yourself while you're traveling. And but it was good, man. It was I was pretty stoked to see them like in my home, in the city that I live in now, and seeing them in Paris, Rome, all these incredible cities. It was like a achievement for me, and I think I can say the same for Juliana. I think for her was also that, like achievement. Like I'm here and I'm here with my family, with the people that I love. So we barely survived, but it was like, yes, we did it. Like it was
I
awesome.
was going to say, and you didn't murder anybody, so that's the
Yeah,
real achievement
exactly.
here.
I wanted to, but yeah, I feel good about myself, like for not murdering anyone, not even getting close to that. So yeah, cool.
You've done well. You've done very well. Well, it sounds
Yeah.
amazing, and it looked amazing as well from what I saw on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah. It was, man. It was pretty fun. We had fun.
Nice. All right. So, should we get into this week's track? So, this one was picked
Yes.
by yourself, and we spoke briefly last week. From 2005, the summer of 2005.
Yeah.
This is Robin Thicke's Wanna Love You Girl.
Yeah, man.
I would say a kind of classic Neptune's track amongst Neptune's fans. But digging into this and actually reading some of the background stats and things, I think I've overplayed it over the years on my own mind. I don't think it was quite as big as I thought it had been. I guess in our little
True.
Neptune's world, it probably was popular and still is, but I don't think the rest of the world agrees with us. So let's get into some facts and figures, and then we'll talk a bit more about it. So, released on the 9th of August 2005, the first single from Robin Thicke's second album, The Evolution of Robin Thicke. 17 million YouTube views, a music video directed by Hype Williams, shot in the Dominican Republic. We've got Pharrell in there as well with a verse, and obviously the Neptunes producing it. So all of that, all of the promotion they did as well, because I remember at the time this getting quite a lot of airplay, and him doing quite a few live appearances on various music shows as well. Despite all of that, all the money they've obviously chucked at it with, what looks like quite a big budget video, this song did not even chart. It did not
Yeah.
even hit the top 100. It
That
managed
is
to hit
insane.
65 on the Billboard Hot R&B hip hop charts. But aside from that, it did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Now, in my head, because I've probably heard this track thousands of times over the years, and I've talked about this track with other people, I just envisaged that it was a really popular track back in 2005, 2006. And when I started looking through the sort of stats and stuff for it, I was expecting it to be a top 20 track, maybe even a top 10 track. The
Yeah.
amount of times I saw the video, the amount of times I heard it being played in bars and clubs and stuff, I really thought this was a lot more popular than it actually seemed to be.
Yeah, true. Yeah, me too. But Uh, I first of all, like I love the album. Like it's one of my probably my favorite album from Robin Thicke. I play that album a lot. There's a lot of good tracks in there. And when I saw your notes saying like, "Oh, this track didn't even chart," I was like, "Oh," but I was not surprised because I remember like "Lost Without You" was huge. Like that was the one that like everybody was playing. I remember like Robin Thicke got a little bit famous in Brazil because of "Lost Without You." So because I had that in my mind, I was like, I was not that surprised. But yes, I think since we are fans, like I you should think that the song was bigger than it was commercially, because I remember, I don't know, the first time that I heard that song was in the Star Trek music.com, and they just put the song on the front page, but didn't have the information or anything. So everybody was like, "Oh, who is this?" And everybody was thinking it was Justin Timberlake. And but everybody was like, "Oh man, but it makes no sense because on the verses it doesn't sound like Timberlake at all. Maybe on the only on the chorus." And I think it took us a day to figure it out who was it and who the hell was Robin Thicke. Like nobody knew that guy, especially in the Star Trek forum. So yeah, and it was pretty amazing because uh, everybody hated it at the beginning because it was kind of strange. It is an odd beat for a Neptune's production, and the chorus is pretty repetitive. So it was like, oh man, this is annoying. But after like five listens, I was like, oh man, I love this song now. So I think in the Neptune's fans circle, like it was huge at the moment.
Yeah, funny you say that because I was re-listening to it earlier and watching through the videos, and it's almost like a diet Neptune's beat, Neptune's light,
Yeah, yeah, true.
like the majority of it. I think it picks up a little bit when it hits the bridge towards the end,
Yeah,
but I get what you mean because yeah, there are also parts of it that are quite sort of simplistic and quite repetitive. And I watched a few live performances of it today, and it's a hard one to perform live. Like the
exactly.
intro's really long and there's like nothing happening in intro. So like when he does it live, he has to just start saying stuff. So there was stuff at the time where he would like, "I'm Robin Thicke, hi,
Yeah.
Star Trek Records, hi." He was just here
True.
filling in because the kind of intro just went on for so long. And then yeah, there's a lot of just O's in there and not
Oh my
actually,
God.
not much actual singing going on. So again, trying to perform that live where you're just repeating that over and over again, it made some of those live performances a little bit awkward.
Yeah. Like I remember like uh when the track came out, I was dating this girl and she hated the song, especially because she was saying, "Oh, why he's moaning so much? Like he's singing like all over. Like I hate it. Like stop the song." And I was like trying to protect, like, "No man, listen to the beat. Pharrell verse is cool." I don't know. Yeah, but that's it. Like this guy is annoying. Like I don't want to hear the song anymore. And I kind of get it. But at the time, like nothing can say that track was bad because I used to love it. I still love to this day. I just don't think I can listen like twice in a row. It's a lot, you know?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
hook itself, the hook itself as well is very repetitive where he just repeats, "Wanna love you girl, wanna love you girl, wanna love you girl, wanna love you girl." And then you get the O's and yeah, there's a lot of repetitiveness in here. But then like the sort of juxtaposition of that is the verses are quite short, but some of them are quite well written. There's like some nice lines in there, like
True.
her attitude is hotter than the Earth's core. When she's around, nothing else matters. And then untouchable, she's got her own force field. Just like little lines like that, I quite liked in terms of the writing of it. But then a lot of the
Yeah,
rest of
true.
it is is quite repetitive, and I guess maybe that's why it didn't do commercially very well, but in terms of like radio play and club play, it did do quite well.
Yeah, true. And oh man, and Pharrell's verse is also pretty cool. Like the flow and the lyrics is pretty cool. But I also think like it was like kind of the reintroduction of Robin Thicke to the public, right? So as a first single, I mean, it makes sense that it didn't hit like I don't know, like Lost Without You because I think Lost Without You is way more soulful and R&B-ish for that say than I Wanna Love a Girl. So I think it's easier. It's not that strange, you know, like it's like a normal R&B soul song. And when you listen to When I Love a Girl at the first time, you were like, oh, what is this? Like, I don't understand it.
It's a mixed bag. It really is.
Yeah,
But I
true,
think the kind of while it didn't kind of chart and do much kind of commercially, I think the from what I was reading, the popularity of it in clubs is kind of what led Busta Rhymes to doing a remix of it. So
true.
there is a video out there of it. I don't know if it ever came out as like a single anywhere or as part of any album or B side or anything like that. But there is a low budget official video for it. On the audio version, it is Busta Rhymes and Spliff Star has a verse. But in the video, they unceremoniously cut the Spliff Star verse and leave the Pharrell verse in there, I guess to get more clicks and more watches.
True.
So yeah, I think the story is Buster heard this in various clubs that he was going to at the time, quite liked it. The instrumental was, I think, available as part of the single and the a cappella as well. So he did like a remix of it where he does kind of two verses himself. It then started to appear on a few mixtapes and stuff like that and became popular. And then I think in 2006 they put together a video. I think you can, if you watch the remix video, I'll put a link in the show notes. You can quite clearly see that the budget for this has kind of already been well spent on the first
True.
single and promoting the album because it is just filmed in, by the looks of it, inside one room, which has got a small stage on it, and it's kind of made out to look like a club of some kind or a live music venue, and that's pretty much it. There's some
Yeah,
funky
true.
lighting going on, a bunch of people in a crowd, and that's it really. So
Yeah.
made on a very low budget.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the way they put the Pharrell footage of the first video on a table, that was horrible. Like I when I saw you put the link on your notes, I before I click it, I was like, oh, I remember this video, and this video is awful. And and then I click it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the video. Like, it's horrible. Like, it's pretty. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's not even like edited particularly well either because you can hear. I think in the audio version you get the second Buster Rhymes verse where he's rhyming over the top of Robin Thicke doing his O's, and then it
Mm-hmm.
cuts, I think, immediately to Spliff Star doing a verse. But in the video version, you can kind of like audibly hear where they've just chopped it and cut it
Yeah,
and like not stitched it
true.
together very well. It's like a really awkward transition. And then, like you say, they then, drop the Pharrell verse back in there. And obviously, Pharrell wants nothing to do with this remix. So they take footage from the original video and then, yeah, kind of superimpose it over the top of like a table that's in this kind of club or bar scene. And yeah, it's not done particularly well.
Yeah, it is not. But I mean, the I think the how many views has the remix? Like, it wasn't even popular, right? Like, maybe
The remix said, I can't remember now, it was like 500,000 or something like that.
yeah. So they didn't like put anything, like not even effort on the video, on the edit or anything.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know like where the budget actually came from that, because I can't imagine the record label putting any more money into it after they've already
Yeah,
pumped a load of money into the original version, and
yeah,
really a load of money, and it's done nothing. It's done absolutely nothing. They've
yeah.
probably lost money on that, if anything.
Oh yeah,
So I can't imagine.
but
I can't imagine a record label will want to do it. And then like, so a Robin Thicke and Busta Rhymes gonna like pay for it themselves? Maybe hire out a little
yeah,
room and a few people to film it and edit it. I don't know.
and had fun. Yeah. Yeah, but I remember, but I mean, every artist when they do features, they say the same thing. But I remember seeing a footage of like an interview or something like Busta Rhymes saying like, "Oh, I personally love this track and I wanted to jump in on it, and that's why I did it." But I mean, every artist say the same thing. Like, remember, like, oh, I love this track, so it makes sense to make a to do a remix for it and everything. So I don't know. Maybe, but maybe that was it. Like Busta Rhymes love it so much. Like, oh, I want to do something, but didn't have the money the money to do it well. But at least we have it.
Yeah, yeah, and as a remix in itself, I don't mind it. It's not amazing, but you know, I happily sort of listen to it if it comes on. The video, if it were to come on, I'd probably skip over it. But the song itself, I'd
Yeah,
probably listen to it. But yeah, it does make me wonder that, Buster did say like, yeah, he heard it and wanted to kind of do his own version or whatever. But yeah, maybe there was something happening in the background. Maybe the label did sort of think, okay, well, here's a way to kind of push the original by getting a remix out there, which seems kind of quite popular,
true.
and putting it onto mixtapes, see how well it does. If it's not well received, then you just leave it alone. You don't touch it. But it seemed that it was well received,
Hmm.
at least in kind of clubs and radio and stuff like that. So they sort of think like, maybe let's put a little bit of money behind it, do a little video, and it may kind of lead somewhere. It may help generate more album sales or more sales of the first single. You never know.
Yeah, true. And how about the original video? Did you like it? Do you like it?
Very, very hit and mix.
Yeah.
It's I said hit and miss, I should say.
Hmm.
It's a very kind of stereotypical Hype Williams video of the time.
True. Yeah.
It looks like it was made in 2005. So it's
True.
obviously got the kind of Hype Williams style where you've got the awkward, unconventional aspect ratios with the kind of main part of the video. There's big sort of thick borders top and bottom, which then transition into different colors and other parts of videos and things like that. I think stylistically it's done quite well, but I think like I put in my notes here, there's no substance to the video at all. There's no story being told or anything. It's effectively Robin Thicke being Robin Thicke at a beach, staring at bikini clad women.
True.
You know, there's nothing else
Yeah.
to it. And I sort of think it's the kind of song where you probably could tell quite a good story in a video.
True.
The story's about falling for somebody with a strong personality, somebody you think's beautiful, and towards the end of the song, you get to like, he gets to talking about wishing he could marry the person and stuff like this. So you could do something in terms of a storyline in a video, but it's literally them on the beach or under a waterfall, and that waterfall seems really awkward in the Dominican Republic. Just him hanging around behind trees, just looking at women.
Yeah. No, even I was pretty amazed about they they flew to other country just to do that video, like I think it's a lot. Like, don't you guys have like any beach in America, like, United States, just to do the same thing? Because
There's a
like
lot
if
of
you
shots, like
pay
when they're
attention,
in the speedboats and stuff. You could do that in Miami.
yeah, exactly. And in even if you think about like the footage of Pharrell, like the Pharrell verse, like it's only one footage. Like I think they probably did like two shootings for Elverse, and that was it because it's all the same. Like he doesn't change his position or anything. Like he's in the same place. So I was thinking, man, how like they flew Pharrell to there just to do that, and then he came back. Like it was like I was amazed about that. But I have to say that I also love because the video looks pretty cool, like looks pretty awesome, like the footage because it really is like a beautiful beach. The footage of the 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 top footage from the sea. They when they are at the beach, when they are in the boats, like it looks pretty cool. And I remember. Uh, I think it was who said that? I think it was like Rick Rubin. Like he said the way they were doing videos back in the 2000s, in the late 90s and early 2000s was because a lot of clubs they had screens. So they were also doing videos thinking about, oh, we can show them how you can play, how you can party to this song on the video. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And with this video, I think they kind of did the same like thing because if you see like the way the models dance on the background to the 808s on the song, like it's pretty impactful, especially for us guys because they are shaking their asses. And it's something pretty noticeable because the beat like there's a part of the instrumental that the 808 like gets stronger and that's when the girl's starting to bounce. And I was like, and I always noticed that like how it really makes you feel the beat a little bit more when you see the models or the dancers dancing to it the way they are dancing on the video. But yeah, but it's a simple video. Like it's nothing like insane, or it's just like the guys on the beach with some models, a lot of models, and all of them beautiful dancing to the camera, and that was it.
Yeah, and I know noted down here as well. A lot of the editing helps with that kind of feel of the beat and the music as well as with a lot of Hype Williams videos. The actual kind of transitions that you see from one shot to another or one type of scene to another happens in time with either some of the vocals or the beat itself, and you definitely get a lot of that in this one. But yeah, like you say, there are a lot of really nice looking shots, and like I say, stylistically, it looks really good. Nice colors, nice aerial shots. I don't know if they're using drones or what back then in 2005. Probably
Yeah, I
not.
don't think.
I'd
Yeah,
imagine
yeah, I think it
probably
was
helicopters.
helicopters. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So again, you got to factor that into a budget as well, which really
Yeah,
shows you how
true.
big a budget video this is. But yeah, apart from that, not really a lot else.
Yeah, but I think it kind of makes sense if they spend a lot of money on this video. Makes sense because man, Justin like again the comparison with Justin Timberlake, like to invest in a white singer like soulful R&B singer, it was like uh, a a pretty good investment, I would say, you know. And in Robin Thicke's case, like it was eventually because Losses Without You was huge. I don't know how it was in the UK, but I remember like in Brazil, like every time I went to the club, I went to a club, like Lost Without You was always playing. So maybe that's the reason they put so much money on this video because it used to be like a pretty good investment to invest in white how they say like blue soul eyed blue soul singers. There's an expression for that, right? Like they used to do with I think the expression came up with Frank Sinatra. Like I had blue soulful singer, something like that. But I mean, forget
I don't want to know about your racist stereotypes.
it. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and just to mention the Pharrell part as well, you mentioned it. I can imagine that was one day of shooting for Pharrell, if that. They probably flew him in, flew him back out the same day. I did read in it might have been on the Wikipedia page or something. They had really bad weather, like the night before they were due to shoot on the beach. So The idea was they would fly them in, they would stay somewhere locally, then drive them to the beach. And that beach is kind of not a touristy beach or anything. It's kind of off the beaten track a little bit. But the weather had been so bad that they couldn't use their cars or anything. So they had to stick the pair of them in boats and actually boat them into the beach, which again ups the budget even more. And then you got hype, flying in models and dancers and getting helicopters and speedboats and all that. And yeah, there's a lot of money being spent on this video. And
Yeah, true.
I can't imagine the record company were thinking it was any kind of a good investment for quite some time. Yeah, if the second single did well, and I don't know how well it did, then okay, long term the kind of investment paid off, but in the short term, I can imagine there were a lot of people at Star Trek at Interscope ripping their hair out because the numbers from that song and the amount spent on it must have. I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody lost their job off the back of
Oh
that
yeah,
flopping so
true.
badly.
Yeah, true. But I mean, wasn't the artist that was paying for the videos and everything? I don't know how, like, because every time I see something like some artists talking about like the budget for the videos on the early 2000, like because it was huge, they was like, oh, but it came out of my pocket. So yeah.
Yeah, the artist generally pays for it, but the record label pay it up front, and then the artist pays it back through sales and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, true.
But somebody at the record label, like an A&R person or a marketing person, will still be held responsible because they'll be the ones that come up with the initial budget and have
Yeah.
to kind of obviously the artist has to signs it off eventually, but a marketing person would have gone to him and said, "We think we should spend X amount because we can fly you to this place with these people, have Hype Williams do it. It's going to cost this amount, but we project that, here's what we'll make back off of the sales of the single and on off the album and stuff like that." So obviously, you always assume you're going to make a profit off of it. I don't think any marketing person goes in there pitching a big budget idea, knowing or thinking that they're going to make a loss on it and that the single's going to flop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been a kind of a joint exercise. But I think somebody at that label would have been held responsible for its kind of ultimate failure, 'cause especially when it's like the lead single from an album. Like the lead single is meant to be the big one that drives everyone to the album to go and buy it and really shift the numbers. So to really
True.
pump that much money into it for the marketing and the video and, like I say, all the appearances that you seem to do around the world to try and promote it. Yeah, money not well spent.
Yeah, true. And yeah, and if you think about it, to invest in an artist under the Pharrell umbrella at that time was super risky because after Khalees and the clips, like what we had, what artists that blew up so much after them, like from Star Trek or from the Neptune's umbrella, like I think it was Robin Thicke, and and in my opinion, like, of course, like it helped a lot to have like the first single of your second album produced it and with a cameo from Pharrell, and to be in Star Trek to people get to know you as an artist. But uh, I think the second single, Lost Without You, like it pretty much did it by itself, you know? Like it didn't need the Pharrell Williams influence or Pharrell Williams cameo or anything to blow up like it did. So it was pretty amazing. Like I remember uh, Neptune's fans talking about it on the forum, saying like, "Oh, finally we got something like that blew up from Star Trek."
Yeah, it blew up amongst ourselves, but nowhere else.
Oh yeah, true, exactly.
What else was I going to mention quickly? Oh yeah, just another note on Pharrell in the video. Quite surprised that we're not seeing any BBC stuff in this video because this was, around that time when it was really ramping up. We see him, in the video just in a he's got like a plain white bucket hat, then a Hawaiian type shirt, and the green camo shorts that he seemed to live in for a few years, and then a white G Shock as well. But no sign of any BBC type stuff, which was interesting.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was wearing Bape on his feet, but on the video didn't even appear. Like his feet is not even on the video. So yeah, because I remember seeing like a photo or a making of the video, and that sh show it his entire outfit. But yeah, on the video is and it's pretty amazing, like you said, like no BBC or Bape or anything.
Yeah, which again makes me think they probably boated him in, did one shoot with him for a couple of hours or an hour or something, didn't do a change of clothes, and off he went again and left.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
A quick turnaround.
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. It was like that. Because again, a lot of money just for that.
What else have we got about this? Anything else you want to mention?
I don't know, but have you ever seen the interview about how Pharrell got introduced to Robin Thicke? Like, it was pretty basic, but basically, like, Pharrell was, I think Robin Thicke was in a meeting with, what is the name of the guy? Oh man, I hate my mind when I have to remember names, but who was the guy that used to be the boss in Interscope?
Jimmy Iovine?
Yeah, yeah, that's the guy. So Robin Thicke was like in a meeting with him, and Pharrell came in, and Jimmy was like, "Oh, this is an artist that I'm thinking about signing, but I think he could be like also signing to Star Trek, like just sing it." And Pharrell was like, "Oh, not interesting, not interesting." Like so, no, no, no. I don't want to sign anybody because I already have a lot. And but when Robin Thicke started to sing, he was like, "Oh man, let's do something like right now." And I think like "When I Love Your Girl," like they did "When I Love Your Girl" like after like 5 days after signing him. So it was pretty amazing to just to know that Pharrell got so amazed about this guy that he signed on the spot, signed him on the spot, and then just like did a song in about like 5 days after that.
It's funny because I think doing the track and having that kind of quick turnaround was probably not so much from Pharrell's side, 'cause the various sort of interviews and things I read the last few days, Pharrell was said in an interview kind of just after that he was actually very reluctant to do the song and do the album. From what I've sort of understood, the album was already pretty much finished
Oh yeah,
and
true,
kind of recorded and done. And again, I think it came from Jimmy Iovine. He said like, we want a Neptune's track on there, we want Pharrell on there, and Pharrell listened to the album end to end and just sort of said, no, it's already a good enough album. Like I can't really add anything to it, can't bring anything extra to it, so it just stays as it is. And then again, I think it comes around to the whole marketing of the album. There. I imagine somebody in a room probably uttered the name Justin Timberlake at some point and said,
true,
"But look what it did for him." Like, so if we have your name attached to this, white guy who's singing R&B songs, like we
true.
might get some of the same kind of benefit. So I imagine that's another reason why they kind of reluctantly or partly reluctantly then sort of went and did the track.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Good track,
yeah,
not the greatest, not the worst. Good
yeah.
video,
I
not the greatest, not the worst.
true. Like I really prefer just listening to the instrumental. The instrumental I can listen like for an hour because I really love the instrumental. But the song, the entire song is like is a lot. They one thing that they like probably there's some version out there like they cut it off some of the chorus some of them moaning and just or took off like the Pharrell verse that they shouldn't because the verse is pretty cool. But yeah, like 5 minutes of moaning, and when I love you, girl, it can be a lot.
Yeah, Robin, calm down. Less moaning, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Get back behind your tree and stare at those women a bit more.
Yeah, but I always think about, is that song lazy or just the or minimalist? I don't know. I never guess when it comes to Neptunes, because there's some songs that Pharrell and the Shed did together that was like, oh man, this song is so lazy. But at the end, like after a few listens, I always think, oh no, it's just minimalistic. Like this is pretty cool. And I don't know about this one. Like I think like Pharrell intentions and the Neptune's intention was to be minimalistic, but I don't get it, the repetition of the chorus, because I know a chorus like it has to be repetitive to, I don't know, to stuck in our minds, but that one is a lot.
Yes, there's a lot of repetition in this, and I don't know. I can answer. I always used to be of the opinion that if you ever had like a chorus or a bridge or something where it was just either repeating itself or it wasn't actual words, it was people just humming something or doing something like this, like the all the O's that he sings, then like yeah, it's just lazy songwriting. But that isn't the case,
Mm,
and I'm not a professional songwriter, not any kind of songwriter. So there are kind of instances where it does work, and like you say, it is being minimalistic. It's adding something different to the song. You know, you can have that juxtaposition of having really heavy, deep, lyrically driven verses, but then really simplistic hooks and bridges and stuff like that to kind of balance the song out. But with this one, it's a bit much at times.
yeah.
And like you say, I could listen to this once or twice, but then like earlier today when I was like rewatching the video and stuff like that, after like the third time or something, I was just like, oh my god, yeah, like that's kind of enough
Shut
now.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Especially,
I don't think I need to deep dive into this any further.
yeah, it's like especially nowadays, like knowing everything that we know about Robin Thicke. But oh man, Robin, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, get back behind your tree, Robin.
Yeah, exactly. But another song that I think it makes me feel the same. It's not official. It didn't have like an official release. Like remember "Wifey" by Usher, also
Mhm.
produced by the Neptunes. Like I used to hate the chorus because he repeatedly said, "Wifey, where are you? Wifey, here I am." Man, I used to hate it. Like, man, like why they did that? And I remember like people on the floor saying, "No, what are you talking about? This is amazing." I said, no, man, this is not amazing. It's horrible. And I don't know, that song, like, I think he's just got me after like 10 years when, after the first time that I heard it. I think it's like, I don't know, like 5 years. Like, I think I was in Europe when I started to really like that song, because I used to hate it. And again, I felt like, oh, this is lazy. This is like, but I mean, it's unfinished. So I didn't have like a lot of, I didn't have, what is the word? Um, I think it was unfair to judge an unfinished song, you know. But and I think like but it was the same feeling. Like I felt like it was like lazy, and it has a bad chorus, a bad chorus. But after a while, I was like, okay, okay, I love this song now.
Yeah, and maybe lazy isn't the right word to kind of call this, but maybe a bit too simplistic.
Yeah,
It would have been nice to have had something else, something a bit more substance to the song, to the hook itself, and the post hook, and also to the video,
yeah,
especially with the
yeah.
amount of money that went into it.
True. Yeah.
And what is Robin Thicke doing these days?
Man, he's still
I don't
trying.
really follow him. I saw because I think I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel. So the other day it flicked up he had a new video out or something. I haven't watched it, and I haven't really listened to much of his other stuff, to be perfectly honest. So
Yeah.
I'm just sort of intrigued as to like, is he still living off that Blurred Lines money, or like, is he still popular in other parts of the world? Because I never really hear anything about him these days.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think so. I think he's probably doing like some gigs because in the United States he probably had a lot of fans, especially from that era, like 2000 and 2010. And but yeah, like once in a while he put out a song or two, and but nothing. It's pretty generic, to be honest. And recently, recently, like, I think it was like 5 months ago, I discovered that after Blurred Lines, Pharrell and Pharrell, like they put out a song together, but it was like super under the radar. But okay, and I think it was a single, but I think they were like, let's put this out, and if it hits, it hits, but let's not put any energy, any money on it because it's a risk. Just to see like Pharrell and Robin Thicke again, like it brings a lot of I don't know, it might bring a lot of bad memories for a lot of people because all the
Yeah.
controversy around the video, around the song, it was rough.
I'm just looking at his YouTube channel now quickly, just to kind of see what's on here and what sort of views he gets. And it's a real mixed bag. He's got just over 2 million subscribers, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
His last video that he put out 4 days ago, Robin Thicke and Dream Doll, I Know What to Do. And in 4 days, it's had 22,000 views. Most of his videos tend to get, on average, 50,000. There's a few others that have got, a few 100,000. There was one 3 years ago that's got 2.4 million.
Okay.
What else is there? It's just really, really mixed. I think his actual proper videos that he puts out, they all tend to get over a couple of million,
Nice.
but kind of like lyric videos and trailers and visualizers, yeah, they tend to get sort of 30, 40,000. Not that many.
Yeah. I mean, then after Blurred Lines, like after the entire controversy around that song, like it was pretty rough on him. Especially because after that, like his wife like find out that he was cheating on her, so they broke up. So he put out an album called it was named after her. Like the name of the album was Paula, and it was insane to see him trying to promote the album because the guy was clearly like in scrambles, you know, and trying to promote a video like an album that was about his ex-wife and it was about breakup and he was trying to put like a smile on his face like oh it was brutal.
Yeah, very publicly trying to win back his ex-wife. Like, not sure that's ever a good idea.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
even when you're not a famous person, let alone when you are famous and you're, releasing albums of her name to try and win her back. It's a bizarre way to go about it.
Yeah, yeah, true. It was pretty cringe to see.
Yeah. I was just flicking through the YouTube again and sorting it by popular videos. Blurred Lines obviously nearly has 1 billion views now.
Jesus.
But then second to that is Lost Without You, which is now 14 years old, and that has only 87 million. Now I say only 87 million. Obviously, 87 million is a massive number, but compared to nearly a billion for Blurred Lines, it's quite a difference.
Yeah.
And then like the unrated version of Blurred Lines has 81 million.
Wow.
Then we drop down to Give It to You with Kendrick Lamar. That's 37 million. And then after that, it's 22 million, 19 million, 17. He's probably got 25, 30 videos here that have like over a million views. But yeah, you've got to imagine that most of what he's earning these days still comes off the black of Blurred Lines.
Yeah. It was insane.
And that is if he's actually still making anything from that, because I think they have to still continue to give a ridiculous amount of it to the family of Marvin Gaye
Yeah, man.
for all of perpetuity. Unlucky.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that was insane.
Yes, I don't personally agree with it, but I think we talked about it on another episode, didn't we? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, a crazy outcome for that, and yeah, the amount of money they've both lost to the Marvin Gaye family over the years and
Mm,
in the future, ridiculous.
true. And I mean, it was, you can imagine how stressful it was because it had a lot of coverage also. So I remember like Pharrell was pissed off about this. Like, remember remember when they put out I don't know if the video leaked or it was for public, uh, uh, how you say like when you can publicly see
Public
things.
consumption
Yeah, exactly. But the videos are from Pharrell and Robin Thicke on their disposition. How you say it?
depositions. Yeah,
Yeah, and Pharrell was pissed off, man. Like it was insane to see.
I still watch those videos occasionally because they are quite amusing to watch.
It is, man. It is like because it was a version of Pharrell that we never saw until that time, until that moment, and I was like, man, this man is hurt.
Yeah, that somebody that not publicly, but eventually it was publicly. But yeah, questioning and showing his ability or his inability to do certain things, like asking him to say, like, asking, can you read music and read this? And I think we all know that he's not a classically trained musician and isn't necessarily the greatest at sort of reading music in the technical side of music. He's a creative genius,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have all the kind of technical side. So I don't. Yeah, he really didn't like somebody kind of bringing that up and putting him in a position that was potentially sort of going to make him look stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Damn,
But
tough
anyway,
position to be.
yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to some news this week. There isn't that much, to be honest. I think in the last episode we covered about 300 topics, and there's not really been much going on since then. We've had Paris Fashion Week. Saw Pharrell going to a number of different shows in Paris. We've had some more Louis Vuitton releases recently, including some bits that I've been waiting for, some new card holders and wallets. So I may go and have a look at those at some point soon. They do look quite nice. And
Cool.
while I'm not a person to go and buy, lots of Louis Vuitton clothes and stuff like that, I do love the accessories and things like that. So I may go and have a look at those.
Nice. Man, I have I cannot spend a lot of money on card holders. I don't know why. It's just for me. It's like it's so little. It's like it's not a lot of. I mean, it's not worth it. I always think that those things should be like super cheap because the material like is not a lot of material. Like it's super simple. But I was I, a month ago, I was like, oh, I need new ones because the ones that I have, like I have for like 5 years, and I know I need a new. Oh Jesus, my talking is crazy today. Sorry. So I was thinking I need new ones, and I was like, oh, let's see like what BBC like the BBC versions of that, and I saw they have like pretty cool stuff, but I think it was like for 150. I'm like, what? This is insane. And I saw they have like also pretty cool ones on sale, but it was also like 40 euros, 50 euros. And I think mine, the one that I have now, I think it was 5 euros. But man, this is insane, especially because we have almost everything on our phones right now. So like, oh man, I'm just gonna have like a regular one, all black, just to put some of my cards and that's it.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for things like this, I have to say.
Yeah.
I think when last time I was in New York, I bought At the time, BBC did some coloured leather card holders with the diamonds and dollars like embossed on it.
Yeah, so cool.
I've still got it somewhere, but it's sort of starting to wear out. So I changed it eventually. And I think I mentioned this on the podcast previously. If anyone has one of those, especially a red one anywhere, like please let me know. I will buy it from you if it's in really good condition because I loved it. And it lasted me like 7 years or something, 8 years, a really long time.
That's
And
awesome.
now I've also got a few other ones from over the years as well. I've got the gold and the silver BBC EU ones they did a few years ago, the leather ones, but I've never actually used them. I've got the coin holder purse things as well. But the one I use at the moment is a Louis Vuitton one that I bought maybe last summer, I want to say, about a year ago. And yeah, for what it is, it's stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember how much. It was over a couple of €100. But that's the kind of idiot I am buying things like that. And then the new one, the Pharrell one that's just come out, I think is over 300.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see if
I
I end
mean,
up
it
buying
makes
one.
sense. Yeah. And I'm not even saying that I don't find it cool because it is pretty cool. There's out there that is pretty cool, especially the BBC ones, the Supreme sometimes like they put out like some cool different stuff, but it's a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
For me, is the thing that someone like if I, for me to have like a pretty good one, leather one, like someone has to give it to me. Maybe I'll send the link for this episode to Juliana just to listen to it, and maybe she'll like, oh, okay.
It's nearly Christmas. It's nearly Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Speaking of more things to buy, we have the Nigo Nike collaboration releasing this week.
Yeah,
So we're
man.
recording this on Tuesday, the 1st of October. This stuff drops. Well, they've already had a pop up store in New York the last sort of weekend just gone. But all of the stuff releases on the sneakers app this week on the 4th of October. So what's that? Is that Friday? Yeah, it is Friday. Are you going to be getting anything?
Man, the only thing that I really wanted was the varsity, and the price is ridiculous, man. Like, what in the man? I was so disappointed because I thought, oh, it's going to be expensive, but I thought it would be like 300 or maybe 400. And I was like, I was already getting prepared to have that talk with the lady. Like, oh, I want to spend like 400 euros in a varsity jacket. But I think she would understand because she know how much I love Nigo and Nike, everything. But man, 600 is a lot for a varsity. And it's a pretty basic one. Like there's
670.
yeah, I mean, and it's not even like crazy. Like it's not even like a lot of stuff on it. Like it's just a varsity with the Nigo logo, which I think is pretty awesome. Like is is the first time that I saw Nigo on a Nike logo, I'm like, man, this is so cool. It's like so simple, but it's so cool. Like it fits perfectly. And I think I love varsity jackets, but I think the reason that I wanted so much is it was because of the logo, you know, like on the back, so cool. But with that price, man, I don't know. Yeah, I probably will not get anything.
Yeah, I did
The
look.
T-shirt is pretty basic, also, so I'm like, oh, okay, and I mean the sweatshirts like it looks pretty cool also because it has different colors and everything. There's one that is green with yellow, and I'm a sucker for that. But I just felt like so disappointed with not disappointed, but I was sad because it's so expensive. Oh man, I don't want anything now.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I think if the jacket had been a bit more of a sensible price, I would have gone for one. But even I'm not really justifying, despite all the things I just said a minute ago, I'm not really justifying 700
Yeah,
euros for a jacket when I have like a whole wardrobe full of jackets that like I don't wear
exactly.
most of the year
Yeah,
anyway. Even in the winter,
that
I
too.
just tend to wear one jacket here, and that's about it. And then yeah, the t-shirts I don't mind, but the crew necks I do like. The green and yellow one you mentioned is really nice, and I really like the red one as well. So I think
True.
they were 170 or 160. So
Yeah, exactly.
I've set a reminder to kind of go off on Friday morning. So come Friday, I'll have a look and I may get something. The sneakers, probably not.
Yeah.
I think we spoke privately a while back when they were released, and like the Air Force 3 silhouette, I'm not a massive fan of anyway. And with these ones, I don't like, not that I don't like, but it's not my favorite kind of like color blocking they've kind of done. It's, I get what he's trying to do. You know, it's kind of heralding back to Bape, and it's also tying in the Voltron sort of stuff that he's used to kind of promote them and things, which is probably the best thing about all of this release is like
100%.
the
What?
graphics in the trailer that they had was amazing.
Yes,
But
100%.
yeah, the shoes, yeah, I'm not so keen on. And like the darker version, I think look better, but those are patent leather, and I don't like patent leather sneakers. I've owned too
Yeah.
many Bapesters over the years, and they've like just creased horribly, and after a couple of years they will just crack and start falling apart and stuff. I don't know if Nike ones will be made any better or any differently, but that just kind of puts me off them. But what I do like, surprisingly, is the brown version that he's been wearing over the last sort of few days.
Yes, man. I agree.
I'm not normally a fan of brown stuff like that. Most people will know my Grail sneakers are the brown and pink ice creams.
Yeah.
Aside from those, I generally don't like brown colored stuff. I don't like mustard yellow, all that kind of color range. I'm not a fan of. But these ones look really good. These ones look
True,
really
man.
nice. I
Yes.
don't know if they're going to get a release. I don't know if they're going to be, if he's wearing them to like a friends and family thing, or they're going to be like, I don't know, Japan exclusive or whatever it might be. I don't know. But if they do come out, those ones I probably will try to get hold of.
Yeah, man. I agree 100% with you. Like everything you say, like I co-sign that. Uh, Especially the part that I don't like so much brown sneakers, but when I saw those, oh man, that's cool. And I saw somewhere that is also like paying homage to Babe in something in some way. So it got a little bit no, it got it, a little bit better for me, like just to make my mind like if they sneaker like ever put out that sneaker, like oh man, I might probably try to cop them. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. These ones, this one that they going to put out on 4th of October. Uh, Remember when Nigo put out the human made with Adidas, and they put out some, I think it was the forums lows. They did like kind of the same thing, like put out some crazy colors with blue, red, and yellow. It looked horrible. Like it looked, it looked like a clown shoe. I don't know because of the pattern of the colorway that they put out on the shoe. And when I first saw this one with Nike, I was like, oh, this make me think about the other one. This one, it looks a little bit better in my opinion. But yeah, like you said, like I think the all the mixture of those colors, especially on this model, it doesn't get me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit too busy for my liking. But yeah, let's see what they end up coming out with. I'm sure there's going to be more collaborations. I think this one's been in the works for quite a while. I think they were, hoping to get the lawsuit with Bape out of the way, which they obviously settled on a few months back. So I don't think that's any coincidence that that's settled, and then suddenly here's the Nigo collaboration you've all been waiting for.
Yeah. It's pretty insane to see like Nike suing Bape and now Nigo, the creator, like he's working with them. Have you seen the story about how Nigo also owned the fabric. No, it's fabric like the place that they do the
Factories.
factories. Thank you. So Nigo also owned the factories that was doing the fake babes.
It's yeah, it's a rumor that's been around for 20 odd years, probably longer.
Yeah, I think it was like how what is the name of the guy?
Ben Baller mentioned it recently on a
Yeah,
podcast, didn't
that
he? Yeah, which is
yeah
why it
exactly.
came up again. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily believe what comes out of Ben Baller's mouth.
Oh,
But it's a
okay.
rumor that's been around for years and years and years. And I
Oh,
think yeah, he's regurgitating that rumor. It may be true. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it was true, I would say. But
yeah.
meh.
Yeah. No, no, and it's pretty genius if you think about it. Like to own the real and the fake factories. Like, man, that's a good way to make money.
Most of the stuff you would see out there was counterfeit because it had such a high price point. It wasn't accessible to a lot of people, especially because it was, you could only get it in limited places as well and in limited numbers. So I'd imagine it was probably a point in the kind of early 2000s up to sort of 2010 where there was probably more fake vape out there than there was real vape.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I still see it daily here. If I go into the city centre here in Helsinki, I still see
Yeah,
fake vape most days.
exactly. To this day, it's insane.
So yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of money to be made from it, and you do find that like in sort of Asia and places like that where they manufacture massive quantities of stuff. They'll manufacture real stuff in the factory. Then later on that day, in the same factory, they'll be manufacturing like knockoff stuff or exactly the same product but under a different brand name or whatever. Yeah, it's why people go on Timu and Alibaba and all these kind of other websites to buy stuff and not from, I don't know, brand names, because a lot of these products just come out of the same factory. They just don't have the brand name on them.
Yeah, true. Insane.
Also, speaking of Nigo, he had a new track out this week, I think, or end of last week it came out
Yeah.
with Young Thug. Was it Young Thug?
Mm.
I can't even remember now.
Oh, you're gonna.
Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah, me too.
from his upcoming album, I Know Nigo 2, spelt TOO, good play on the word. I'm interested to see, yeah, what this new album is going to be like. I really enjoyed the last I Know Nigo album, so keen to see what's going to come on the new one. And again, to kind of tie all this in, the video which is on YouTube, and again there'll be a link in the show notes, has the whole kind of Voltron animation robot sort of stuff going on, like live action stuff mixed in with animation going on, and is really well done. Really nice video.
Yeah, I mean, Nigo, when it comes to nostalgia and Japanese culture from the 80s, from the 70s, like Nigo knows how to do it, knows how to bring like the entire nostalgia feeling to to the public, man. It's pretty cool. Like when I saw the video, like, man, we need a movie. Like, what are you talking about? It's so cool.
And we got some more new music, this time produced by Pharrell. So this is The Weeknd featuring Playboy Carti, a track called Timeless. I listened to it once and then I also watched the music video that came out, I think yesterday or the day before. It was okay. I think it's one of those, the more I listen to it, it'll probably grow on me a little bit,
Yeah.
but I wasn't blown away by it on the first couple of listens.
Yeah, like I told you before we started to record that I haven't listened to it, but actually I listened to it just once, just the once, and I think, and my first the reaction that I got was like, oh, this is pretty generic track for especially for the guys that is in the track like Playboy Cardi. But I always think it's cool to see Pharrell trying to do something different when it comes to the music, to the instrumentals and the beat itself. So, but like I said, like I only listening to it like the one, so I have to listen a little bit more just to see how I feel about it after. But yeah,
I'll add a comment to our show notes for next time to see if we've listened to it a little bit more and what our
Oh yeah, true.
thoughts are on it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that.
All right, and then a couple of recent pickups that might be worth mentioning. I should have mentioned this on the last episode and I completely forgot. A new pair of ice creams.
Oh yeah.
Need to give a shout out to member George, who I did the deal with. If you're a collector of BBC ice cream, you hopefully probably know member George. Also, Marcel and Matt for facilitating the exchange. I actually got rid of an item to get these, so this is an item that George has been after for a while. So it's the I think season 5 maybe or season 6 backpack with the green tiger camo and then like the Space Beach characters on it. So like the penguin with the umbrella and the person skiing and stuff like that. Really nice backpack, amazing quality, really nice heavy weighted metal clips, leather straps, a beautiful bag. I've had it a couple of years, maybe longer than that, and I've never used it once. And George has been asking me about it every now and again ever since the day I bought it. So I thought now is the time to actually do something with it, seeing as I've never used it and it's just sat in my closet. So we did an exchange. He has that bag. I have a pair of dead stock beepers in black, which I still haven't worn yet. I need to find an occasion to wear them. So yeah, shout out to member George for sorting that out. And then also last weekend, I happened to go by the Adidas outlet store here in Helsinki, or it's not in Helsinki, it's in Vanta, just north of Helsinki, near the airport that we have. And every now and again, they have some like decent stuff in there. And I went in there last weekend, and there was a whole section of the Adidas Human Race NMD S1 Marbs. I think you pronounce it Marbs. So these are the NMD S1s that came out towards the end of 2022, I want to say. I think this colorway came out in December 2022, and there were some other colorways before and after. I was going to buy a pair of these at the time.
Hmm.
I think they were 220 euros,
Wow.
but I was undecided, and I was like, yeah, I'll pass for now. I'll see if they turn up in a sale or something. And I think a few of the colorways did end up in the sales and things, but I never bit the bullet and never got a pair. But while I was in the store last weekend, they had like 50 pairs there, maybe in all the sizes. Only the mint green color, but it is a color that I actually quite like. So I grabbed a pair of those, 90 euros. So less than half
Wow.
price. Quite a good deal, I thought.
Amazing, man. And they look pretty good.
They are a nice shoe as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in person, they definitely look better than they do in the pictures as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've grabbed those. So that's another pair of shoes that will just sit around and I probably won't wear for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. When the I think like every time that I go to a Adidas outlet, there's a Pharrell shoe in there. Always.
Yes.
The last time that I went, I think it was like in June or in the beginning of July. And I think the last ones that he put out, the Sambas with different colorways, like they were all there. But the price wasn't still that good. I think it was like with 25% of discount only. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's not worth it yet. But I'm thinking about going, especially because of your deal. Like your deal is amazing. So just to see if I can find one of those deals in there.
Yeah. Well, I think whenever I pop by the outlet store they have here, there's not always Pharrell shoe in there, but I've seen a fair few in there. There's been like tennis hues always pop up because obviously loads of those floating around.
Yeah,
The solar hues they sometimes have in there. And like, yeah, the NMD ones that aren't sort of, limited versions, they tend to get in there occasionally as well. So yeah, it's the only reason I sort of pop in there every now and again just to grab some new hoodies to wear around the house because I work from home most days, and yeah, so see what shoes they've got in there. And every now and again, you get a good deal.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Cool. Well, that was it from my side. Anything else from your side?
No, man, I think that was it.
Cool. All right. A short and sweet one this week. We will wrap it up there. All of the links, etc., of things we've talked about will either be in the show notes of the podcast player that you're listening to this in, or you can go to the website, theothers.net, where you can find all of the previous episodes and show notes and things like that. You can find us online at Others Podcast on Instagram and Threads and Facebook and all those other places. You can find me in most of those places at Steve R. Penny. And Rafa, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram is Rafito underline Zurich. And also I had a sneaker poster that recently, unfortunately, was hacked. And but I got a new one that is at Sneakertel 2. So you can, if you guys that are listening, if you can like follow me just to give me a support. I really need it right now, especially after what happened with the other account. So yeah,
Yeah, and the links will be in the show notes as usual. So you can go over there and give Rafa a follow if you're not following the new account already.
yeah.
But cool. That's it from us this week then. We will speak to you next time then. Bye bye.
Bye, man.